Hey Russ, what kind of honor was that for you this weekend to give that speech?
Yeah, this weekend was pretty special for me. I mean, I've done some cool things. I've been fortunate to do a Wisconsin commencement speech, obviously going there, and NC State commencement speech going there, and two schools I love. But then I was not smart enough, maybe, I don't know, to get into Dartmouth. I don't know. Maybe I was. I don't know. I have decent grades, but my uncle took me up to my uncle, my dad. They took me up to Dartmouth when I was like 8th or ninth grade, and I went to go see my cousin Rachel go play basketball. And they took me up there in January, February. It was a bad idea because I was like, I'm not coming here. It's too much snow. But anyways, I to go there and to speak on behalf of those amazing students, all the accomplishments and all the things that they're going to do in life, all the things they've already done. But more importantly, I've had my three uncles go there to Dartmouth. Uncle Ben, class of '73. Uncle John, class of '80, I believe it was, and Uncle Richard, class of '85, and then my dad, class of '77. So it meant a lot. And to have my brother there, to have Sierra there. My mom unfortunately couldn't come, but she watched live. It was just special. My sister couldn't come, but she watched live too. It was just an amazing moment to be able to talk about his legacy and what he meant. And the coolest part of the whole entire thing, I got there on Saturday, and I had a few people come up to me, and they just talked about my dad and what he meant to them. Very successful people, a couple people that just were former teachers there. Buddy Tevens, it really meant a lot to me. And I think that's just a blessing. And hopefully I can be a mere fraction of what my dad was to other people.
I asked Coach this. You've been everywhere this off-season, from Children's Hospital to Monaco to New York with Sierra when she was on the cover of SI to Dartmouth. How are you able to, because football never suffers, how are you able to do that where football never suffers when we see you everywhere?
Well, first of all, football is the number one priority. That's why it never suffers. I think you do everything you can to spend the extra time, get here early, leave late, do all that stuff. And one of the things that I believe in is that, you pour your whole self into it. No matter where my feet are, I want to put my whole, pour everything I have into it. So when I'm here, and even when I'm away from here, and and everything else, the coaches and I, we're constantly talking players, we're constantly talking, and so that investment into players getting better and trying to help them, and vice versa, it's a key thing, and I think that as life grows, I've always been busy, everybody is always shocked how busy I am. I'm like, do you think this is busy? I took 18 credits every semester in college. I played 2 sports, played football in the baseball. I went to football lifts in the morning, went to class, then went to baseball, played all night to 11 o'clock at night. Then I did my homework. I didn't, that was busy. That was the hardest thing I ever done. So to be able to do fortunate things, to be able to speak at Dartmouth, obviously to support Sierra, my wife, and then also to do things with other guys and everything else, hang out when we can, and it means a lot. So, the one thing that I've always believed in is it's a lifestyle. You have to make your whole entire being and your thought process about winning and about being successful. And with that comes great opportunities, but it also comes great challenges. And how do you manage those challenges, and how you think about it? And so having an amazing team, a performance team, always comes with me everywhere I go. I got my assistant helps with everything. Just everybody's super organized, and so there's never wasted space. And I think that's a key thing, never wasting space.
Russ, there's about to be new ownership in town. What are your thoughts on the group, and have you talked to anyone in the ownership group specifically yet?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think the new ownership group's going to be great. Obviously, I think there's been such amazing tradition here, and and I know how much the Willen family meant to this Broncos organization. They will forever mean to this organization, and they'll forever be a part of it. I think with change, there comes great opportunity. And I think with Mr. Walton, getting to know him, they came here, several months, a couple months ago, maybe, or whatever it was. And I got to spend some time with them. I got to spend time with Mr. Walton himself. I got to spend time with Greg Penner. I got to spend time with Carrie as well. We had some real good bonding moments, just about life and success and things, and the visions and all the things that they wanted to do and how they wanted to impact the Broncos. And so they're really about community, which I'm super about. This team is, what's that award we're winning again? What's it called? The community award we're winning or whatever. Humanitarian what?
Team of the year.
Humanitarian Team of the Year finals. I mean, this team is all about it. So for them to come in and be about that too, that's exciting. But also, it's about winning. It's about being successful and giving us all the resources we need to make sure that we're successful, to do whatever we need to do and just be great. And so, when I found out, a few people called. George called, Patrick called. He hit me up, and but then as soon as they called, I got a call from Mr. Penner himself. He called and got to talk to him, and we were actually at Sushi Den, me and Sierra, on date night. I was like, oh, this is interesting. This must be good news. And so he called, and I got to talk to them for a while, and Greg and Carrie, and talked about a lot of stuff, but they got to meet C a little bit. And so it's just a cool experience. I got to talk to Mr. Walton the next morning, too. So I think for us, it's about doing everything we can as players and giving ourselves the best chance. And I think Coach Hackett and I think George Payton is amazing. These guys are top-notch guys, and they know how to lead, and so that's what we're excited about.
Hey, Russell, Kendall Hinton is a guy that grew up in Durham, just 15 miles away from NC State. He said that he grew up idolizing you when you played there. What is it like to be at a point in your career where guys watched you when they were young? And then the second part is what do you kind of just think of how your receivers are?
Well, I think the guys are competing their butts off, but I think Kendall is doing an amazing job. He's got a special gift. His gift of getting open, his wiggle, his ability to accelerate and make plays. I remember watching the film, and there was a certain game, it was a Cowboys game, and he caught a little skinny post route and just took it, just took off. Just his ability to get open, his ability to make plays near the red zone, and just how he catches it. He's got that football instincts. It's the quarterback in him. Obviously watching him play and how he even had to step into that game that one day. I mean, that's kind of crazy to do. People understand how hard this position is, and to be able to do that the next day is a challenging thing. But he's a competitor, and I think all the guys are competing their butts off.
Hey, between now and training camp, what's your routine in terms of throwing, and do you like throwing with teammates?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll definitely the last kind of couple weeks we'll let guys get away. We've been going for I don't know how many 2.5 months now. It feels like. We'll let the guys kind of get away, spend family time, do whatever they need to do, travel, whatever it is. But the last couple of weeks we'll really, spend some time right before we come back. We'll spend some quality time down in Southern California. And
how do you feel about yourself and the offense going into spring?
I feel extremely confident in what we're doing, man. We look really good. We're going against a great defense every day. That's the challenge you want every day, to go against the best of the best. And our defense is the best of the best. And we're getting better every day. We're making touchdown plays. The guys are making key stops on defense. We're making key plays on key third downs. It feels really great. So offensively, I'm really excited about the offensive line. I think those guys are doing a great job up front, giving me enough time and blocking it up for me. And then and just everybody's terminology, everybody understanding the game, the whys of the game, and the obsession with it. Guys are, I think about guys like Beck, if he gets here early in the morning, Sabi, Albert O, Cortland Sutton, Travis Fulgham. These guys are getting here early. Melvin Gordon's been getting here early, spending time. And I think about the rookies. They get here super early, a little extra early with me, another 30 minutes earlier. Montrell and Brandon and also Greg Dolchis. Those guys are spending that quality time. I think about the linemen and how connected they are too. So we're going to have a really good football team. Obviously, the running backs we have, the tight ends, the receivers, the line, I think we got a chance.
You've been around the NFL for a decade. Obviously, the Waltons and Penners and Melody Hobson, they're stepping in for the first time. So what would you kind of tell them about the NFL from your vantage as a player that will help them as owners as they assume this team?
Well, first of all, being able to talk to Mr. Walton himself, to be able to talk to Greg and Carrie, it's an honor to be able to do that in the first place. Right? I think that in today's age of football, right, that relationship between players and owners and everything else is so critical because we're playing for ourselves and our families, but we're playing for them too. And we're playing for this whole city, and to be able to have that bond and that kind of relationship, you notice it a lot in basketball in particular. Some of the ownership groups and some in football too, and everything else, and that's been important. I mean, even me and Sierra with owning soccer team, it's important to have those bonds with people. And they do a tremendous job so far of that, and that's really exciting. And being able to talk to Melanie Hobson a little bit this morning, too, as well. Got to connect with her. We're both busy this weekend with a little something. But I think to be able to talk to her, too, what a tremendous accomplishment and what a gift to be able to do what she's going to be able to do, to be I think she's the first black woman, right, to do this. I mean, this is a big deal. I mean, this is history. I think that's maybe gone over people's heads a little bit, but it's news. You know, it's a tremendous representation. I think for minorities and blacks in particular, but I think also too, I think the growth of the NFL and what they're trying to do, and the Waltons too, and to be able to do that and to honor that, and it's pretty awesome. So I think that this relationship is really important, and we want to do everything we can to win. I think that dialogue is everything. That's what helps win.
Russ is a guy that leads this football team. Can you give me a sense for how you define trust, how other players can build trust in themselves with you? How do you view that as a leader, and how does it go? How does it work?
I think trust, when it comes to playing the quarterback position and trusting your teammates, and then vice versa. I think the first thing is that do you spend time on your work? Do you spend time on your work? And these guys, I mean, I found trust in them in the first time I met them when they came down to San Diego, and how much time we spent together, and how much I'm drilling them, they're teaching, they're learning, they're doing everything, and they wanted more. They wanted more, and so that trust was built right there. Guys like Dalton Risner, guys like Bowles. Bowles and I have been talking about, someday maybe we can play together. We just run into each other in summertime or whatever, He's like, I want to block for you one day, man. So we've been building that over years. But just what an amazing guy he is, just the rest of the guys. Cush, Cush came down to California, San Diego, with all the receivers and was snapping every day. This guy probably snapped 800 snaps, maybe more, within that little period of time, and just that built trust. It's effortless with me and him. So I think that I think what's really fundamental on trust is, number one, are you putting the work in? Number two, are you at the right place at the right time? And I think number three is, will you do whatever it takes to win? You do whatever it takes to win. I think that's really, really critical.
Last one, Eric. Do you typically get guys together again in these 5-6 weeks between the end of mini camp and training camp, or how have you gone about that?
Yeah, I think it's really critical just to get away, clear your mind, because we're about to go on a 21-week journey, hopefully, 22-week journey, however many weeks it is now with 17. But, that's the goal, So you got to, rest your mind for a second, come back, spend time with your family. I know a lot of guys, they've been away from their kids or this or that. So that's really important to have that, to hit the refresh button. But we'll go back to work super quick. I think we'll catch up, probably mid-July and right before, a couple weeks before, and go after it. Thank you guys.
Russ.
Go Broncos. Let's ride.